Power 104.7.
Rise and shine, St. Paul. Start your day the Power way. The Wake Up on Power 104.7 FM. Monday through Friday from 8 to 10. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the Wake Up on Power 104.7. It's time to get into what we all been waiting for. Like I said earlier, y'all, an activist, a positive role model, an artist, so many other things that, you know, he's done in his career.
Minneapolis native, bro.
Minneapolis native. Like, man, this is going to be a very fun interview. So everybody, please
Minnesota
get a
golden child.
Let's get a round of applause for Mr. Brother Ali.
Hey.
Hey.
Man, I am so happy to be here with y'all. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for coming through.
Absolutely.
Man, you've been here since, I asked you earlier, you've been here since Tuesday.
A couple days, yeah.
Yeah. And you flew in from where again?
Istanbul. I've lived in Istanbul for the last 5 years.
Yes, okay. How was the flight? Is it long?
It was cool this time. So I have a lot of trouble with security.
Okay.
Like coming in and out of America. The FBI came to my house on my birthday when I still lived here. Like I get harassed, pulled out of line.
Yeah.
Oh my
searched.
Goodness.
My children get searched. Or it's a very, very common thing.
Oh wow.
And so this time was easy. As a matter of fact, I came in and you don't even show your passport anymore. They scan your face now.
Yeah.
And so I came in and the dude handed me a card, this like laminated card, and he's like, show this to them. And I'm like, oh man, I know what that means. And he's like, no, we're not messing with you today, bro. I was like, what? And he said, man, I've worked here for 15 years. Like, I know who you are. I see you all the time. And he's like, I see you get pulled out all the time. One of the last worst times was I flew in on the day that the last election day.
Oh.
Yeah.
And man, that one was rough.
I believe it.
That one was rough. Yeah.
Goodness.
So this time was easy, smooth, no problem. I
That's
came in like
good.
a full citizen,
Yeah.
like a whole human. I was like, wow, okay, all right.
Right, got to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I get to come hang out with y'all. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
The weather broke a little bit. It was a little on the high side, and then it rained, and it was nice.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man, and I'm glad that you were able to get in because I know, like, with everything that you got going on and just the kind of person that you are and your message to the people and stuff like that kind of puts you in the radar to where, you know, shall we say back in the day, hip-hop police, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's great to see you here. So how is it different living in Turkey compared to here?
I mean, the number one thing is safety. It's safe. Both me and my wife, we don't really have a lot of extended family. Like our parents are gone. My wife is from the Bronx, New York. And when I have daughters. It's like me and my wife and daughters. And so I have to think about their safety. Mm-hmm. And then also my wife is black, my children are, mixed, and the racism there is not against black folks. They're racist, but they're racist against Syrians and Afghans. Because they don't have the same guilt. They weren't, they don't have the same guilt. They don't have the same. So there's African people, there's black people that live in Turkey, but they're just another group of people that came to live there. Okay. And so my children have no idea that people think that they might not be fully human. They've never experienced that.
Okay.
And I have older kids. So we have 2 older kids and 2 younger ones. And my oldest is a boy. Okay. Who, mixed kids, it can kind of go either way. When you look at my son, you're looking at a black man. There's no question about it. And he grew up with that. He grew up I grew up really experienced it. I remember when he turned 14, I was like, oh, you're a man now. People are looking at you like you're dangerous or you're a sex object or so that alone. Just the fact that my daughters are safe, people are still people. Yeah. But I mean, when they would go to school, they just never heard of somebody violating children. Right. It's like they've never heard of that. Yeah. So those things, and then also me and my wife are both converts to Islam, and so being in a place where, not everybody is practicing Muslim. It's like half and half. So you can do anything you want in Istanbul. They got clubs, they got everything. But it's very normal to live a life where a family is like a practicing, it's like serious Muslim family. But then also, you can still be in the culture. So like my daughter, we have an 18-year-old daughter. She is into skating and she collects records and, You know what I'm saying? She wears like, jerseys with her favorite bands on them and stuff like that. And for religious Muslims, that's not the case everywhere. Like in Saudi Arabia, that would be weird. So it's like the things specifically for my family, it's the most important things are there. And so we love it, man. It's a beautiful, really beautiful life.
That's what's up.
The whole family.
My son is still in America.
Still here?
Okay.
My son joined the Marine Corps.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Which is funny because I'm the dude that the FBI comes to the crib. You know what I mean? It's like your kids always do something different.
Yeah.
The kids always have to, and especially, he's a young man, so like he has to establish himself. Like, all right, that's my dad's thing, and I respect it, and it's good. He's got to do his own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So my quick question on that: when did they first start like coming in and messing with you? Was it
2007? I put out the Uncle Sam Goddamn song. This song you're playing now is kind of part 2 of Uncle Sam Goddamn.
Okay.
But when Uncle Sam Goddamn came out, YouTube was brand new. And we made a video. It's actually pulled down now. It's got 8 million views, but it's actually pulled down from YouTube right now. But hopefully they'll get it back up. But so that was one of the first indie songs to where you shoot a video on your own dime, you put it directly on YouTube, and it can go viral, and it did. And we were in Australia when that happened. I was doing the tour, and the promoter from that tour wired the money to Minneapolis to our bank account. And the Department of Homeland Security seized the money. And they said, in order for us to release these funds, I had to get on the phone with them. And that was my first interview with them.
Oh, wow.
And they have been reading my emails and all kind of stuff. And it's just, so that you mentioned the hip hop police. So, okay, so there's people that are after rappers because they're like, okay, these guys have a lot of money and, they probably have guns and they're probably like, so they're just trying to bust them for that. It's a whole different thing to be on. It's like, okay, you're a person who travels around the world. You have, I'm not Kevin Hart, but like I have an audience. There are people that are listening. And as long as that exists, and I have this message, I was raised by Black Muslims. And like, that's my way of being in the world. And that's also my interest in the hip hop. So like my music is going to be about everything, but that's going to be one of the main themes in the music. Otherwise it's like, I don't think I should be doing this if I'm not going to talk about those things.
Yeah.
Right.
And especially for somebody like, I was raised in a Black community, but I'm not Black. So it's like for you to come into somebody's space, like if the Germans started making Jewish music during the Holocaust, you should have to explain yourself. And you should have something to say about the Holocaust. Otherwise, like, go back, go be in your world. Leave us alone.
Right.
If you're not going to be with us, then go be in your world.
Yeah.
Just make country music, do what which is Black music too. All music's Black music. You can't make music that's not Black music in America, unless you're doing like old school Celtic, like, unless you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scottish music.
Yeah,
exactly.
but even that, you go back further, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
all these
still-
instruments come from Africa, the drums come from Africa, like, you know what I mean? You can't. So that's been a thing the whole time, and those people see that even if you're not Minister Farrakhan, you have a following, and at any point that could be mobilized into something. And so the first question I always ask is like, are you accusing me of a crime? Do you think I've done anything violent? Because if not, then let's just be clear. You're here bothering me because I'm Muslim, which is legal. I'm making music about what we see and feel. That's legal. I travel. That's legal. I have people coming to my shows. All of this is legal. You're harassing me because you don't like my ideas. You don't like what I'm saying, And I'm, all the people I grew up, I like looking up to, that was their reality.
Yeah.
Nina Simone, Paul Robeson, Chuck D, you know what I mean? All the people that I grew up, like in Minneapolis, I had in my space was pictures of all these great people. And I became like, Chuck D is a really dear friend of mine. And Chuck D actually came and he said, you should put yourself up there. Like once I started getting harassed, he's like, congratulations, man, you made it.
You made it. That's funny because we, somebody had, I guess, I wouldn't necessarily call it try to cancel us, but we had got some bad reviews or whatever, and our president of the station said the same thing, like, congratulations, you guys are doing good.
talking about the great Georgia Fort?
Yeah. So like if people aren't saying something about the content you're putting out or whatever, then you aren't being seen enough. But once people start responding to it like, oh, you guys are making hate speeches and boom boom boom, she was like, you're doing something great. In the words of Eazy-E, all news is good publishing or good promotion. So yes,
let it be
for sure.
When it comes down to that First Amendment, right, man? That freedom of speech. Do you see in this day and age compared to when they first started, trying to attack you, has the level of it got more intense, no pun intended?
So I went,
compared to when you first started?
I was invited in 2016 to Iran. And they had a conference about police brutality against black folks in Iran. And so it was myself, a great poet named Amir Suleiman, some people from I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but it was people from the Nation of Islam, and activists and poets and like all these people from America. And we went there, and that's a very common thing. Like that's something that Paul Robeson used to do. Like back in the day, that if America is trying to be this, the moral authority in the world and like wagging their finger at other countries, those countries will bring in like, these are the people that you're oppressing. These are the people that prove that you're not a moral authority, and let's have a conference. So I knew that there was risk involved in that, but I went, and hip hop is illegal in Iran to do publicly. And the reason for that is that even if America doesn't invade a place, if American not real culture, not how we know culture, but like the industry around culture, if that permeates a place, you don't have to invade it. The people will start thinking that they want the American way of life. And when I say, and by that I mean hyper consumerism, hyper individualism, not community, not family, like everybody just going for self and all that stuff. So you won't have to invade a country. Right. And so they don't have McDonald's, they don't have Netflix, they don't have hip hop. The people that invited me knew that hip hop could be a force for good. And so what Harry Belafonte did one time in Cuba, hip hop used to be illegal in Cuba. Mr. Belafonte, may he rest in peace, he brought a bunch of hip hop artists in Cuba to meet with Castro. And they all knew that this was going to happen. And he said, you got to give them immunity. You have to promise me you're not going to prosecute them. And so they came and performed for Castro, and Castro overturned that rule. Because he said hip hop can be good. They were trying to do that in Iran with me, but they didn't tell me. So they had me come, and I was just doing acapellas and speaking and things like that. And then they said, we want to hear Uncle Sam Goddamn. And I was like, okay, we want to hear it with the music. Which is that now that's not a poetry performance, that's a hip hop performance, which is illegal. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, we're in a conference room at a hotel. I was like, okay, I did it. Immediately it was on TV. And on TV, and they're running it like every 5 minutes. Oh, wow. And so like somebody was connected with the government in order to be able to do that. Yeah. So for them, this is them shooting their shot. This is them being activists in their own country. I'm not from this country. I'm not from Iran. I don't. And then also there's hip hop artists in Iran seeing someone rap on TV. And like, if I knew I was going to perform, I would have checked in I would have been, who are the community leaders? Right. Who are the elders? Who are the people that have been persecuted for this? Let me check in with them. And like, how can I be in community with you? Right. I don't want to be a show up on TV white man. Like I'm trying to be with, but I didn't know that was going to happen. So I'm getting death threats from them. Wow. And then people are saying like, hey, that's illegal. Are you safe? So it was this whole thing. I made a song about it called Uncle Uzi Taught Me, about trying to get out of Iran. It took me days. I was at the airport with you can't use your card. You can't take money out. You can't use your phone. All our stuff is turned off over there. Wow. So I had 3 days in the airport with a small amount of money trying to get out. And I finally was able to get out. And so then when I came back, it got incredibly worse. Like all the stuff from the US government was really bad for probably a solid 8 years. Wow. And now it goes in and out. So now, I came back last year and it was bad. Came back this year, no problem. Okay. It's like but I never know when it's going to happen. So I have a certain type of trauma around these things, but it's just normal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's become normal.
Yeah, to experience that, but the fact that you experience that, but it doesn't stop you from doing what you love to do. That's the amazing part to me. Because some people, I feel like, with death threats and having to deal with what you constantly deal with, that can probably deter a person from wanting to continue to follow their passion. So what has made you, wanting to just continue to write what you write and to push out the message, even despite having to constantly, I guess, have these roadblocks?
So like I said, I'm not black, but I was raised in a black community. And like, so when the people that are supposed to be there for you aren't able to be for whatever reason, and then somebody whose job it's not loves you and takes care of you and looks out for you, it's like I wouldn't be alive without, like I wouldn't be me without that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, there's not a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like, you know, the people that raised me don't have a choice. They're, I'm talking about a lot of stuff you all know better than me, but like you're under threat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a death threat just being you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, it just feels like I can't envision being a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and like I didn't graduate high school. I've never done anything else really. I've never, you know what I mean? It's like I have known that I was supposed to be this from the time I was a little kid, and
oh wow.
So it just we just keep on keeping on. You got to figure out a way. So
Absolutely.
living in Turkey is part of that too, where it's like you know, my family is safe, but I'm also safe. And it's different. It's not the same thing, because I could shut up. I could, you know, go get a job somewhere or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
But I also, like, I can't. My heart wouldn't let me do that. That would be a type of like suicide. I wouldn't be me anymore.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. Let's take a few steps back real quick. Because you're back home, Minnesota, right? How does it feel to be here? Does it feel like home when you step back here in these border walls, or do you feel like it's been too long?
So I mean, I come back pretty regularly. Like
Okay.
I come back a few times a year.
Okay.
You know, it's weird. Like I in a way never felt home anywhere.
Okay.
So I moved to Minnesota when I was 14.
Okay.
But before that, my family moved every year, every couple years. So I never had a home base. And so Minnesota is where I became me. Like when we moved here, we moved to North Minneapolis. Shortly after that became a Muslim, and I helped build the mosque on Lyndale and Broadway.
Oh,
like I helped build that mosque. I gave the first like sermons at that mosque. And like the family that runs it, the Elamine family, like Arlene Elamine is like, when my mother put me out of the house and all this other stuff, Arlene is one of the, Arlene Elamine, Khaled Elamine's mom, is
Wow.
one of the people that she took me in. And I could get them, but she was like, you have a mom, we're all your mothers. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, so I still feel, but at the same time, I wasn't born and raised here.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like almost every situation I'm in, it's like I'm as much at home, I'm as much a member of what's going on. It's only based on sincerity and love. So it's like, if there's sincerity, and it's got to be both ways, then it's home. So I'm kind of not home anywhere, but I can be home anywhere where I connect with people.
I love that.
And so yeah, this does feel like home in a sense, as much as any place else. Like this would be it.
This would be it, right?
But at the same time, it's like, you know, I didn't go to elementary school here. I didn't, you know.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay. What came first? Your conversion to Islam or music?
To me, it's all the same. So to
Okay.
me, like the activism, the spiritual stuff, and the culture and art, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
And it you know, or they're all like part of the same thing. So they were all together. So I think, yeah, like when we came into hip hop, like Islam was always the spiritual center of hip hop. Like if we're gonna be religious, like yeah, we all come from church families, but like the religious language, the spiritual language of hip hop has always been Islam.
Okay.
You don't have to explain. You would never be like, oh, so and so is a Muslim rap group. You know what I mean? The fact that like Q-Tip is Muslim, and the fact that Busta Rhymes and like all these, you know, Ice Cube and all these people,
Wu-Tang.
it's not a story. You know what I mean? It's not. It's just. But Chance the Rapper is a Christian artist. And even though everybody in hip hop comes from a Christian background, there's something about hip hop, and wherever Islam went, it always elevated the poets first. Like poetry is a really like essential part of Islam.
Yeah.
In every part of the world. I live in Istanbul, and in Turkey, that's where Rumi, the great poet Rumi, is buried. That Jay-Z and Beyonce named their daughter after this great poet Rumi.
Okay.
Rumi is like one of the great Muslim poets, but every place where Islam took hold, there's great poets. All in West Africa, there's amazing poets, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and all these other people. And so hip hop and Islam have always been intertwined. And when I was 13, I lived in Michigan. And KRS-One was my favorite. He's still one of my favorites. So KRS-One came and gave a lecture at Michigan State University.
Okay.
So I went to the lecture, and at the end, I asked him to sign my Self-Destruction, Stop the Violence book.
Yeah.
And he brought me on stage. And I stood and I was like, you know, KRS-One is like 6'5", he's enormous.
Yeah.
And I'm 13 and I'm like looking at KRS. I know all the words to all his songs, but he's at a lecture podium and I look out into the audience and I was like, oh, this is what I am. Like I knew it in that moment. And he told me, he said, I said, I don't know if you make your music for me, but your music is for me. And he's like, okay, have you ever read the autobiography of Malcolm X? And
I have that book.
This is before the movie came out. And I said no, and so the first book that I ever sat down and read was that. So reading the autobiography, reading that, I'm like, oh, okay, I believe everything he's saying. I'm not allowed to be what he is because he was in the Nation of Islam. I'm like, I'm not allowed to be what he is, but I'm gonna live just like them.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he went to Mecca and he's like, oh, Islam is this global thing that there's whole countries full of people that would be called white, and they're Muslim, Bosnia. Albania. So like Action Bronson's ancestors are Muslim because he's Albanian.
Yep.
And so whenever I see him, he's like, "Assalamu alaikum, I'm a horrible Muslim. I'm not on my deen." But like, you know what I mean? But
that guy is crazy, man.
So yeah, so when we got to the end, when I got to the end of the book, and Malcolm actually says, if white people in America, the same way that, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you're not a Negro, you so-called Negro. That was the language at that time, was Negro. So he said, so-called Negro, that's not who you are, just because that's what this country says you are. Malcolm said this could also help rehumanize people that have been taught to see themselves as white. And he actually encouraged people, and I was like, okay, bet. So then it was my mom actually that found Arlene El Amin and the Ramadan family and like those people, because we lived in North Minneapolis. They were just a few blocks from our house. And my mother actually took me over there and was like, I don't know what to do with this guy. You know what I mean? You guys take it, you know. She basically like kind of like turned me over to them.
You were adopted.
Yeah, no, unofficially, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Shout out to them.
And then I started learning how to clean baseboards and use washcloths and like that from, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a whole like culture shock at that point.
No, actually by that point, like I had already, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, that actually started a lot younger than that. But yeah, it was a whole thing, like home training, like my home training is that.
Okay, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the El Amin family.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and many others.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And others too.
Where you want to go? Where are we going?
Well, I was going to kind of get a little bit deeper into the music in Islam, right? Because from what I've perceived, that like how you mentioned earlier, once you add the music, but you know, to it, it's no longer poetry. And I know into some Muslim homes, it's forbidden to listen to music and all of that. So how have you been able to navigate, you know, your passion for music, but then also your faith? How have you been able to, I guess, stay true to both at the same time?
Yeah, we try to stay true. It's like that's always the thing, is like renewing the intention and everything. But yeah, I mean that, you know, that's an opinion in Orthodox Islam. And I've spent 30 years studying Orthodox Islam, and it is a very common opinion. But when you really look into it, it's not the only opinion. There's nothing specifically that says in the scriptures, both in the Quran or anything that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that's definitive. The majority of, and you know, so I do what I do under the direction and guidance of world-class scholars. And so really what it gets into is there's a whole lot of nuance in that conversation that gets lost in the modern time, where people just have a slogan. Like in you know, internet times, slogans win. You come up with a slogan, it doesn't even matter how true that slogan is. So when they say music is haram means something that's forbidden. Eating pork, if you're not starving, is haram. But the Quran says if you're starving, you can eat pork. You know, certain things that you know, being intimate with somebody, going to bed with somebody you're not married to, is haram. There are things that are and haram basically means it's a sin. If you don't seek forgiveness, there could be a punishment there. There are people that say music is haram, but they don't mean drums, and they don't mean singing, and they don't mean the human voice. What they mean are, and I mean, if you look at the essence of hip hop is drums and poetry.
Yeah. And
so those things are not haram. And nobody disagrees about that. Okay. So it's like, okay, well, the essence of what we do is halal. It could be okay for Muslims to do. So the possibility of that means that we should be exploring this.
Right.
And also because of positive force that hip hop has been, especially when Islam is deeply involved. You know what I mean? Also, there's a racism in how some non-black Muslims say that, because they have Kulthum and they have the people that they grew up listening to in Egypt or wherever.
Yeah.
A lot of times what they're saying, when you really get to like, what are we really talking about? A lot of times they're saying black music is haram. If you look at how it's practiced, you know what I mean? And so, you know, for people who have that opinion, that's fine. You know, they should follow it. Like if they believe that, they should follow it. I don't have that opinion. And also, you know, we're in a situation where, you know, the only people that have converted to Islam in communities have been black Americans. In the modern world, like and it's an enormous conversion. Every black family has Muslims in it. Any family reunion, you go to a big family reunion, somebody can't eat the greens. You know what I mean? There's like somebody, you know, and a lot of white individuals convert to Islam more and more. It's a story that people don't cover. And I support a lot of people in converting to Islam. A lot of them are white, but it's not a communal thing. And there's not a culture. There's not like a white Muslim culture. There's black Muslim culture.
Yeah.
That's dope. And one of the things they talk about is like, for Islam to take root in a place, there's got to be a culture.
Yeah.
It's got to develop a culture. And so, you know, people can have that opinion and that's fine. You know, I'm a person that's like, man, I'm in so many spaces where if I go to one side, there's people that don't understand the other side of me. If I go to the other side, there's people that don't understand that side. So I'm like, man, anybody can have any opinion of me. That people's opinions of me are not my business.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you? This is my last question about Islam and music. Do you cut off or turn off the music during Ramadan? Because I do know a lot of black Muslims who do that. Like at least during Ramadan time, they won't listen to it. Kind of listen more to like Quran reciting and of that nature instead.
Yeah, you really know what you're talking about. That's super dope.
So
I knew you would.
I converted last Ramadan. So yeah. So that's why I was like really excited that you were here. So
wow,
I'm learning some things. I'm learning
all
some
right.
things.
Okay.
Yeah, you get one half, you know, because I'm music and, you know, I've been waiting to, you know, kind of pick your brain on the whole rhyme sayer, and then she's the religious side of it.
Dope.
Yeah,
But she
I'm
does
still
music.
learning. I'm still learning.
She do music too,
Yeah.
which she
Amazing.
be very
Amazing.
adamant about not really telling or putting herself out there
Amazing.
as much as I tell her to. But
Yeah.
she's definitely down with it, and trust me, she'll probably be. She's going to be there tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there at the masjid tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
I'm
beautiful.
already planning it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Trust
But
me.
yeah, so yeah, do you use that time to kind of take a break from music then?
I mean, interestingly enough, like music over the years, like since I've studied more, since I moved to Turkey, since my younger daughters are like in the process of memorizing the whole Quran, and so our house is filled with the Quran. I do almost no screens. Our daughters don't do screens at all. I mean, almost none. You know, I do less screens and I do less music, and I mean, like listening less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't hold the same place in my like day-to-day life as it used to.
Okay.
And you know, so every critique or every warning or every even condemnation, there's a truth in there, and you can't write off the truth part. You have to find music grants access to our heart when we listen to it.
Yeah.
So whatever the state is of the people, and so what I take from people saying music is haram is that you have to be very careful what we're exposing our heart to, because there's certain songs that when I listen to them, I'm crying. There's no, you know what I mean? There's other music that when I listen to it, it's like, I'll fight anybody. There's some music that you listen to it, it's like, I gotta be alone with my wife immediately. There's certain music, you know what I mean? So that's something that we should be really very, very careful about. And to, you know, so, you know, once you get like that, you know how you get older, your friend circle starts to get a little, because it's like, I love everybody, but some people I love from over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, who are the people that when I'm with them, I'm going to be able to heal with them. I can be authentic with them. I can be, if I'm messy with them, they're not pulling me further in the messy direction. They're acknowledging what I'm going through and also helping me clean it up. You
Exactly.
know, it's like that kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I expose myself less and less to just whatever.
Okay.
The filter is a little stronger.
Yeah, this is my last
ahead,
question, because now I'm interested. Okay, we can move on, because I know you want to talk about more of the music career and all of that, sounds and everything. So my last thing, and I'm moving on. Do you still listen to gospel?
Absolutely.
Okay, because
every Black Muslim family listens to gospel.
I know, but okay.
We fall down.
Yes, so I'm on Muslim TikTok a lot, right? Yeah. And you know they be saying like you can't listen to the ones that say like Jesus' name in it or like there's certain things around that part of it. So that's why I was just kind of wondering, have you like let go of gospel music, or that's still something that you
couldn't do?
Okay.
That. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't do that. Yeah, no, I haven't. And there's certain songs. I mean, so this is what we talk about when we talk about building culture, because in the English language, we do the development of gospel music's been happening for 400 years.
Yeah.
And the spiritual connection in that music is very real, and it's still. With the second you hear it, it still does that.
Yeah.
Take me to the
It does, yeah.
I mean, it's like it does something in the heart. It communicates something to the heart that, I'm sorry, like I love Arabic religious music, but it's because I had to learn the Arabic and I had to sit in those circles and be like, oh, this is what it smells like. This is what it feels like. And I feel like a visitor in that.
Okay.
I've grown to love it, but the second whatever, Mahalia Jackson, the second certain things start playing, it's like, oh, I'm with God, and it's the culture I know. And so it takes time to develop things like that.
Yeah.
And you don't develop stuff like that by just the slogan that music is haram. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, the heart, certain spiritual hearts need music. And so, yeah. And yeah, the theology is different. And so, but it's the same with listening to reggae. Reggae is the same way.
Yeah.
In Christianity, it's like we have different religions. The person Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, to Christians, he's the Son of God. To Muslims, he's a great prophet. He is the Messiah. His mother is also a perfect human being. He was born of her. That's to Muslims. To Jews, he's a liar. To the Jewish community, he's a liar. He's a pretend Messiah. He's saying he's a Messiah and he's not. He's not all those things. You know what I mean? So we have different religions. So we listen to reggae music. You know what I mean? They're talking about Jah, and they're talking about like, that's not the theology that I believe in. But that feeling of, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Somebody singing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Bob Marley thing that happens. Barrington Leaf, so many. I am a man of Jehovah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who don't believe in Jehovah? Move over. It's like there's a thing that happens in the body, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's not a religious ruling, but that is the reality for so many people.
It is. That's why I wanted to ask. AKA DaeTV.
DaeTV. Some DaeTV. You are now watching the DaeTVNetwork.
Let's get into it, man. You already spoke on KRS-One, Chuck D. Who was a couple more rappers or artists that inspired you to actually pick up that pen and start laying down these beautiful, immaculate words of encouragement, inspiration, life, and just, you know, being able to tell that story? Like, who was more people that inspired you before you actually started your rap career?
I mean, the main ones so I love it all, and I've made music that's super messy and vulgar, and I've made all types of music about all types of stuff. But the ones that really spoke to me, like as me, was KRS, Rakim, Chuck D. Those were the main ones. Ice Cube had a period when Ice Cube was in Death Certificate and all that. That Ice Cube was really big for me. And then I would say in later times, I mean, one of my like all-time favorites is Yasin Bey, Mos Def. Like that, when Mos Def came out, I saw somebody that not only was Muslim, but the same type of Muslim that I am.
Okay.
So like the 5%ers in the Nation of Islam, we're all part of the same family, but that's a different idea of Islam and a different expression.
Yeah.
And but when Yasin Bey came out, it's like, oh, he goes to the type of mosque that I go to, and he's talking like the things he's saying. It just was plain as day, and he's become one of my dearest friends. You know, we stayed at each other's houses and all this kind of stuff, But so yeah, like those are the people that are like, this speaks to how I see myself as a person. And but I mean, there's a lot of them. Like, you know, there's always somebody saying something good in hip hop.
Right.
Like there's always Kendrick and J. Cole and Rhapsody, and there's always Sa Rock, and there's always, you know, Bamboo. There's a crew called the Neighborhood Kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Heard of them.
Yeah. It's like there's always Merce. There's always Immortal Technique. There's always Locksmith. There's always, you know what I mean? There's always somebody saying something good in hip hop. You got
Lupe.
Lupe.
Oh yeah,
Cole.
love Lupe.
You just gotta find
Saba.
Man.
Man, yeah.
And I mean, and I love, like, you know, my extended family are also hood. Like, I like hood stuff too.
He said, "I'm still with the shenanigans."
Still from the hood, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah,
they're
they're like, yeah, man. It's funny. There's this Shardae Baby song that me and Yasin love. First of all, you wouldn't make it out your hood. Second of all, you ain't make it out your hood. Third of all, you wouldn't make it in my hood. And he gets to ninth of all, you got start bricks in your hood. 10th of all, we slid through your hood. 11th of all, we took chicks out your hood.
That's hilarious.
But there is that time in life when that energy applies. There's got to be times when everybody has opposition. Everybody has ops. And there's times where you have to be strengthened. And like I also spent time in West Africa. In West Africa, there's music that's for war. There's music that's for praise. Yeah. There's music that's for celebration. There's music that's for... I went to West Africa one time and my sheikh was speaking. And if the sheikh takes a break in his talk, a man will stand up and start singing. Nobody invited him. Nobody introduced. Nobody announced him. And we know that from like being where we are.
Yeah.
Like somebody will just randomly bust out in song. And I saw this man and he stood up and he started singing and he was praising the sheikh and he was praising the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And people came with money and they were like sprinkling money on him while he was singing. And he would hit a certain verse in the song and everybody would go, ah, and they'd start throwing money. I'm like, this is where Making It Rain comes from. Seriously. But they're doing it in service to the community. And I guess we
ain't down at Augie's, but you know.
I mean, and, you know, different people serve the community in different ways.
In different ways.
But I'm you know, but you know, I saw that, and then he finished and he sat down, and the sheikh kept speaking, and then the sheikh stopped for a second, and somebody else got up, and started and did the same thing, and they started, you know.
This sounds like church.
I mean, all these things have meaning that's good, if you search them back, you know, and so yeah, I mean, there's music that's for war is my point. There's music that's for, sometimes we have to go in the battlefield. That's part of being a human being, is that sometimes we oppose each other. Yeah. And so, like, yeah, there's like some of that music has its place. It's just, we know that there are people that made a decision. Anybody that knew hip hop before it became quote unquote mainstream, which means that music executives figured out they could sell a certain brand of it to white people and make it the biggest thing in the world. Well, then they chose what they funded. And so all of those original, like if you listen to the early people they called gangster rappers, like Ice-T, and Scarface, like they would tell you how fun it is to do what you're doing, how exciting it is, how funny it is, also how dangerous it is, also how depressing it is. They tell you the downside of it too. And that's because that was a genuine voice. So then when you get just nothing but glorification, it's like, man, those people, those music executives made that decision. That's not by accident. Right. And they didn't have to say, oh, Immortal Technique can't rap anymore. You know what I mean? But what they do is they put millions and billions of dollars behind certain messages that work for them. Facts. And it also reinforces white America's vision of black people. Like, for America to exist, there's got to be a low opinion of black people. Because it's like, we can't live without you. And we hate to be compared to you. And nobody can argue with what you see. Nobody can argue with what Kyrie does with the ball. Nobody can argue with what, but in terms of like, but we can say you're not smart. We can say you're not, compassionate or dynamic. And so like all these narratives have to be there for America to be America.
Yeah, I agree. So you use your platform to address injustice things all the time. How is balancing artistry and activism, like, has that always been a part of your artistry, or just something that kind of came along the way?
No, it's always been there. Just because, like, it's
always been there. So how do you pick which issues to address?
I figure it's like, so if there's something that really matters to me, then I have to make a song about it. Okay. And that's also like my personal stories. So like, my father died of suicide. There's got to be a song about that. So did my grandfather. Like, I've never seen the men in my family just get old and die of natural causes. Oh, wow. So and that's a very, very common thing for white men. Like, white men have one of the highest suicide rates. Wow. And I think it's because they think they're not supposed to be human. Like, I'm supposed to be superhuman. I'm supposed to be powerful. I'm supposed to be secure. You know what I mean? How come I'm struggling with addiction, and how come I can't stop doing it or whatever? It's like, you're human, like, welcome to it. Right. But there's not of, like, you talk about, like, if you go to church and you start talking about what's wrong and you cry, everybody puts a hand on you, take your time. It's like, you can cry.
Right.
You can't do that in that world. Yeah. And because you're supposed to be, you know, they have a vision of themselves too. And all these lies are killing everybody. So it's like, okay, so my dad died of suicide. There's got to be a song about that. So I just figured, like, when to do it, how to do it, like, in a way that feels right. And then a lot of times with the like talking about political stuff, I also realized that the time that I came out, the time that I started, like, being on stage rapping, was a time when a bunch of white artists and white listeners came into hip hop. And so there's this unspoken thing of, like, white people really like to see someone that looks like them do something that they're not supposed to be able to do. And especially if it's like, it looks like they're getting respect from, you know, they really love that. And on some level, you understand it. On some level, it's like, you got to control everything. You got to be the king of everything. You got to be the king of other people's stuff. Right. You got to be the king of the culture of the people that you oppress and make music to survive your oppression. Right. And also just from being great. Not the oppression isn't what made the greatness. The greatness was already there. Exactly. We're gonna be great no matter what. And so so it's like, okay, so I knew it took me a minute to figure out what that really meant, because I didn't know it was happening. Like, I'm from North Minneapolis. When I was rapping, everybody knew me and knew what was going on, and it was normal. Everybody knew, like, oh yeah, that he's here too. It's normal. But then suddenly there's all these white fans and all these white artists and, like, that world. So I was touring half the time. I would open for Rakim. I opened for, you know, Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, Brand Nubian took me on tour. Like, all of these super, like, what would you say, militant artists, like, took me on tour and embraced me. So, like, man, me and Lord Jamar love each other. It's like, that's a thing. You know what I mean? Sadat X especially. But, like, man, all those people take me on tour, and every day it's like, okay, this is just like growing up. I have to show, I got 3 seconds to prove why I'm on this stage. And it should be like that. That's fine. Yeah. But then when I go on tour with Atmosphere, these are big rooms packed with white people. And not all white people, it's not all white, but they're just like, you're what we've always been waiting. You don't have to earn it the same way. It's like, it's already, so I'm trying to straddle both worlds, and I start realizing, like, okay, the things that I say need to be educational in some kind of way. So my thing is, like, trying to figure out, I know that these songs are going to be heard by a bunch of white people. Black people have music about what's going on. I don't need to say anything. Black people know what's going on better than I do. So a lot of times these songs are me, like, and I really love the people that listen to me, like white, black, or whatever, because, like, so much of my personal life is in my songs. It actually it's been a slow healing process of, like, me with the people that look like me. Because I grew up feeling really not good in those places and really being like, man, these people that love me and care for me, you're lying about them. At the very least, you're just ignoring them, lying about them. And at the worst, you're doing all these things. So, like, it was a difficult thing to figure out. So I'm still in the, like, you know, this song you're playing, Another Country, is still me trying to say, like, we love each other. The reason you know me is because I rap. And that didn't come from that part of the tracks. And so, like, part of why you like me is because I have lived through stuff that you don't understand. And so it's like me trying to figure out, because there's a point, you have to put a little bite on it. Because if somebody can ignore it, they will. Yeah. And they're going to not like me for that. Like, at that moment, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? And being albino, people don't know who's black or white sometimes. Right. People think albinos are black. And most albinos in the world are black. Yeah. And so there's times where they'll be like, I can tell, like, when a white audience is loving me. And then the second I say something like that, there are white people that are like, okay, this is part of what we want. But there's a whole lot of people that are like, you betrayed us, and you know, wow. I hear go back to your country. It's just like, what does that what
does that mean?
What's my country?
Because they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you're a Muslim. And that's their way of saying, like, you're not white, you're not American.
People mix race and
religion all
faith
the time.
all the time. Like, what does me being Muslim have to do with my race? Like, what are we talking about here? So,
or my citizenship.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like everybody else got a whole bunch of stuff they got to navigate. We just saw Lauryn Hill being great. Lauryn Hill's been great this whole time.
Right.
Everybody knows that as great as she is, it is not easy being Lauryn Hill.
I believe
it's torture. That woman is being tortured. She's being tortured. She's been tortured for 30 years.
Wow.
And that's why we only got one album out.
Yeah,
that's why you only get one album, and we're lucky to get it. And she said, like, hey, man, I might show up to the concert 4 hours late. I don't like that. But she's like, you should be lucky I'm here.
Hey.
And we are.
To the queen.
We are.
For sure.
But, like, you know, you see Lauryn Hill at, you know, when you see her in different situations, you get a different Lauryn Hill. It's just like everybody's got something they got to navigate.
Yeah.
Everybody has a deep pain that they're working with this music, and that, like, artists want to be understood. We also have egos, and we want to be liked, and we want to, you know, we want to feel. Everybody wants to feel special.
Yep.
It's all of this stuff is going on at the same time, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're thinking, like, I don't want to. So for me, one of the things I had to learn is, like, I can talk very raw. I was raised by black Muslims. If I want to, I could take the Uzi out, and
right.
I have no problem. And I did a little bit of battle rapping, and it was no problem for me.
Okay.
You don't grow up albino in North Minneapolis by being soft.
Right.
You got it. You have to be able to, like, I'm with so much love. But if there's punches, I have punches too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there's whatever, I have whatever we're doing, I can do.
That's hilarious.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm just going over here saying what I want to say. I'm just venting my anger with this audience, and I'm just turning them off.
Right.
So I get to feel like a big bad revolutionary, and I got to just get my stuff off my chest. But that's actually wasn't helpful. So it's like, I'm forever trying to figure out how to actually be helpful, and there's not really who can I learn that from?
Right.
Right.
Who do you learn that from? Who do I learn that from?
Right.
It has to be community at the end of the day. I look at it as, for us, especially growing up, you know, Minneapolis or whatever hood we in, just American-wise, like, there's always that sense of judgment, and I want to say it's probably because that's what they bestowed on us instead of us embracing it. That's why I feel you on that. When it comes down to just that light, at what point in time did you feel that community embracement once you hit a stage? Like, do you feel like all that you have done and all that you have gained comes out, and you're able to leave it on the stage and on the microphone, and because you already know it's infectious.
Okay. Yeah.
Once you actually, you know what I mean, get to speaking these words. So how do you feel when you get up there and you're, like, really putting it down and you have, like, this successful show? Like, what do you do after you get done doing that?
Man, I mean, for me, in order to survive it, I have to see it as a spiritual practice. I have to frame it like that. Okay. That, like, if people have a good experience, it's because God did that. And I showed up and did my part. I've been very dutiful to this for decades, for my whole life. So it's like, okay, yeah, I put the work in, but, you know, the experience that people are having, the opinion they have, even my own experience, it's like, it has to be like, you don't go do yoga and then assess how the yoga went.
Yeah.
It's got to just be like, I believe in this thing. I show up, I do the best that I can. I try to be as present as I can possibly be. And then I just have to move on. And it's the same is true with people's opinions, you know? Right. So sometimes, you know, I was just in this rural city that I never played at in all of our years. I thought we had been everywhere. I just played in a small, town that I never played in. And I realized, like, oh, this reminds me of, like, 2003 or something, when we would go to the parts of the country where they never been to a hip-hop show before. And, like, they're there because now there's, like, people that look like them there. And, like, they, you know what I mean? Like they didn't go to hip hop shows. So I'm like, oh, they don't really know how to engage with what I'm doing right now. And so I'm performing, and where I'm used to seeing people move to the music, or I'm used to seeing people say some of the words back, or you give them something to say and they're all saying it, or people, they don't know that yet.
Yeah.
And so I could be like, oh, this show wasn't that good, or like I cannot. I have to just like, I had the intention, but it's like making salat. It's like doing the prayer.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to, we say we offer our prayer. So I offer the practice of a show.
Okay.
And you never know. And there's times where I personally had a really bad time. I didn't feel good on stage. Most of the time it's because I feel fat. Like when I be on stage, I'm like, and you know what I mean? And then you try to hold your gut in, and then you're not breathing right, and you lose your voice, and like, that's,
That's funny.
But, so I'm like, and then other time, and there's shows that I'm like, oh, that was whack. And also I'm legally blind, so I can't see past the first 3 rows. So like, I'll watch somebody will post on Instagram, and I'll be like, oh, show was amazing. I didn't realize there was people the room went way back there, and all the hands were in the air. You know what I mean? So, and then there's other times where I'm like, man, remember that one time we killed it at so-and-so? Right. And then I see that video, and I'm like, oh, why was I wearing that? And like, why was my voice is cracking, and like, what's the,
That's funny.
It's just like, so it's like, you just have to, it's got to be a spiritual practice. Otherwise, if you put it all on yourself, then your highs can destroy you, your lows can destroy you, and your boredom in between can destroy you.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's a spiritual thing, then it's just like,
you leave it all on the table.
All I can do is what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? And you try to be aware and try to be as responsible as you can, and like,
Absolutely. You watch hip hop evolve over the decades, right? What excites you about today's generation, and in what concerns you?
Man, I feel like the act of trying to make art is a good thing to do in and of itself, because it forces a person to be with their humanity, to be in the world of meaning. Because even if somebody is saying, I pull up and up, whatever. I pulled up with the Draco. I let it off from the angle. I said something to something from the angle. I hate a girl from the angle. Like, even if somebody is saying that, they have to go inward on some kind of level. They have to be present on some kind of level. The fact that when it goes from just talking to your friend to becoming art, there's a level of focus there, and there's a level of like communication there that I think is good in and of itself.
Okay.
So I just always think and then there also, like, man, people this generation, like, their base level of understanding of how to do this is so high. Because it's always been normal to them. Like, they've always heard rapping their whole life. Right. Like there was a moment where you heard somebody go hip it, dip it, hip it, tip it, hip, hop, and you don't stop the right. And then you heard, so like that was new. And then, you know what I mean? And then Slick Rick was new. And then Run DMC was new. And then, you know, so it's like, for us, it's an evolution. For them, they were just born into an ocean of great hip hop. Yeah. And so, their struggle is to figure out how to make it their own. I agree. I don't see any value at all in judging them and hating on them. And I mean, it's a lot of it is not made for me, and like that's fine.
Yeah, right. I agree.
I don't like. I will say an enemy loves division. An enemy loves to see people divided. An enemy loves to see people harming self. An enemy loves to see people talk about their women in a bad way. An enemy loves to talk about violence. An enemy loves to see people self-destructive. An enemy loves to see that. A friend doesn't like seeing that. Even, so you got people that's like, that's my cousin, I love her. These pills got a hold of her, or whatever. Like, I don't like that because I love her, but I still love her. You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe I'm in a position to help, maybe I'm not. Maybe all I can do is just be here. And so I think in those, I was raised to think in those terms. And so it's like, an enemy of black people has always known that black women's bodies and their sexuality is supposed to be public. So as a Muslim, I don't want to tell people what to do or what to wear or not wear. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm also just aware that there's a reason. There is another reason in the mix with that. You know what I mean? And I'm always thinking, this is what an enemy would like. and this is what someone who's not an enemy would prefer.
Exactly.
This is what a friend would like.
Mm-hmm.
I like healthy
compared to
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying I like and it's not even like you got to wear this or you shouldn't do these drugs or you shouldn't have this gun or you shouldn't have whatever. It's just like it's like I know what this tool is capable of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's gonna be good no matter what. I believe it's better to make music about killing people than it is to kill people. Right. It's you know what I mean? And it's and there's a thing there where people are working out the pain of just living in that environment. Even if somebody says, I was saying like, okay, for people that are judgmental of certain type of content in hip hop, take those words and just do it, like put them on a screen and then just cut the phrase, I'm in so much pain that, and just put it in front of every one of these lines. And it just makes total sense. Yeah. I'm in so much pain that, I made sure to do this. I'm in so much pain that I let off the clip at the, I'm in so much pain that so it's like, that's the part that Dr. Resmaa Menakem says, like, if somebody's trauma is not contextualized in an individual, it starts to look like their personality, but it's unprocessed trauma. That's not my auntie is not her drug addiction. Yeah. There's a drug addiction because there's pain that she's not able to sit with because it's too big. Yeah. Right. And if we act like we don't know what that is in our own levels, whether we're buying too much, eating too much, watching too much, whether we're the porn thing, it's like we all understand I'm looking for help. It would be better for me to go for a walk, drink water, and pray, and hug my mom. That would all be better ways to handle this. You know what I mean?
I agree. I love it.
Once again, Power 104.7 to Wake Up, man. We are here with Brother Ali.
Yes.
I wanted to talk Rhymesayers, man. How old were you when you first connected with Rhymesayers, and how long did that partnership go for?
I was 19, 20.
Okay.
And I was very, very inspired. And I mean, the love and the friendship and the partnership is always there. And the musical connection is always there. Mm-hmm. I started doing my own business in 2020, around the same time that I moved to Turkey. But what I fell in love with so much was that they were people in the community. It's a Black-owned business. That had a level of like commitment and dedication to being organized. And it was a collective at that time. It was called the Rhymesayers Collective at that time. And so people would go and like go together and doing shows. It grew out of a legendary crew, the Headshots, you know what I mean? That was in St. Paul and Minneapolis. At that time, the artists were Black, white, Native, mixed, Mexican. It was like inclusive of all of the, and there was just a dedication to supporting each other and to being organized, you know what I mean? And then over time, like that slowly, like as that became more and more organized, it became a business and it became something that needed to be treated a certain way and looked at a certain way. And that's not my expertise. I'm not a business person. I've become a business person just to be responsible with what happens because of what I do. Exactly. But I'm not a business person. I'm a community person. And so what I realized is that grew into something that I didn't necessarily have a voice in, like what happens. I had a voice in my own career. Yeah. And like they were very supportive of like I could always say whatever I wanted to say. I could move how I wanted to move. When I got trapped in Iran, it was like the head of the touring department is one of the people that helped me get out. They were very supportive of like you do whatever you want to do. But I started to realize like I don't really have a vote or a voice in how the bigger decisions are made. And I was like, they are on a trajectory that's making sense for them. I'm also not in those shoes. You know what I mean? And so I realized like for me, because of how important it is for me to do things the way that I feel like I need to do them, it's like if you live in your mom's house, you're eating what's for dinner. You can't be like, well, by the way, I am a raw vegan and I did okay, we're having tonight we're having this. So like you can eat something else if you want to, but you might need to get yourself a crock pot and some, you know what I mean? Like you might need to figure out how to make what you want.
Exactly.
And so I just got to a place like that. And so there's not a scandal and it's all love and it's all, but I just got to a place where I was like, okay, if I want my own walk to look like what I want it to look like, then I'm going to need to do the work that it requires. A lot of work to put structure around an artist. It's a lot of work and nobody claps for you. And you don't get paid very well. I think people think that there's a lot of like wealth in the music business. That's not true. It's the equivalent of having a good job. And it's not even that sometimes because it goes up and down so much. There's times where you have no idea how I'm feeding these kids. And people don't believe that because there's other times where if you were to see one paycheck for one show, you'd be like, dang, you're doing it like that? That's what somebody makes in 3 months. And it's like, yeah, but I'm getting 2 of those a year. In between then I'm doing all this other,
Yeah.
So it's a thing that's, on some levels difficult to understand unless you try to do it. Yeah. And I realized like there's a reason that everybody is doing what they think is the best thing to do. And so and I believe that all of those people are very sincere people. Yeah. It's just that like, for me, like I said, I came into this through a certain lens. I was raised by Black Muslims. That's who I am. That's how I see it. It's why I love it. To me, it's all connected. My journey needs to be a certain thing. And also my place in hip hop as a person raised by Black people, not Black with a mostly white audience, that needs to be a certain way. And not everybody else agrees. Doesn't mean I don't like other people or I don't see things the way they see them.
That makes sense.
And so.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that was but I mean, I'm performing tomorrow with Ant from Atmosphere. Okay. Like he produced most of the albums of mine that people love. He's one of my dearest friends in the world. I love all those people. And I love the people that departed, and you know what I mean? Some of them I don't know. Like there are people that are associated that I just honestly don't really know like that. We would see each other at shows and things like that, but we've not been to each other's houses. We haven't traveled together.
Haven't broke that bread.
No. Yeah. And there's a mutual respect based on, and it's known. Yeah. Like there's people that were never were curious about whether or not I respect how they do what they do. Because there's certain things that I'm like, for a white person to get in front of a white audience and do Black art and do low vibrational stuff, we have something in this country called blackface and minstrel shows. And this was white people dressing up white performers for white audiences, putting shoe polish on their face and acting out the worst of their stuff, but attributing it to Black people. That's something that exists in this country, and it should be in the conversation. Absolutely. And and there are also there's also the cultural appropriation. There's all these things that are just like I can't operate without that. And and like I said, I always had the space to do that. I always had the space to do and say whatever I needed to say and support to do that, which is not a small thing. One time when I was being detained, I was questioned about the people that work in music with me. And I'm like, I don't say other people's names. I don't have anything to hide, but if I say somebody's name, now they're in the investigation. They're in the file now. Right. So they're like, who's your manager? Who da-da-da-da-da? And I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's public information. Right. So the head of the touring department at Rhymesayers helped me get out of Iran when I was stuck there. And then I was questioned about him the next time I traveled. And then he went on vacation and he got pulled out of line and he got the treatment that I get. Wow. It only happened once. You know what I mean? I think they probably talked to him and they're like, oh, he's not part of this. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But that's a very real thing. You know what I mean? I'm very outspokenly pro-Palestinian, always have been. If I had still been at that label when October 7th happened, I would have still been that. And they would have supported that, and they would pay consequences for that. You know what I mean? Right. So, what else can you really ask of a person, or organization, or like? That's a lot. That's a lot, and it's not normal. I'm saying other indie labels, major labels are not doing that. You will lose your platform. Oh wow! I didn't lose my platform. I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna complain, criticize. You know what I mean? There are certain things that are just really specific to me. Yeah. And so that I'm gonna need to put that work in. Love it. To build my own
Love it. All right, well, we finna slowly start wrapping this up. Just because we get into that time. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about your return to the taste of Minnesota.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Here he go.
Shout out Glow Pesci, aka DJ Hanwood, station manager.
Long-term friends.
Yes, sir. We here once again, Power 104.7, The Wake Up, man. Hey, man, this is a beautiful interview right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Look at you. Look at you. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk the return of you returning to the Taste of Minnesota. You'll be performing. Let us know what can we expect from this performance, and how excited you are about it.
Man, I'm gonna do Brother Ali songs the whole time. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. Like it's cool. It's cool to see that thing come back. You know, I think last year they went with like bigger like national artists.
Yeah.
And then this year they made the decision to go with like all Minnesota artists. So Friday is a lot of like punk and indie rock, and then Saturday is a lot of like hip hop and hip hop adjacent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was invited, and I didn't know until very recently. They're like, "Oh, you're headlining." I didn't know that. And so the fact that I'm doing it with Ant means a lot to me. You know, and so yeah, I'm just always grateful.
I love it. Well, as we end this, we like to play a little game. It's called our what is Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of some Mount Rushmores, because you're in your own lane of music, right? Okay. So let's say give us your Mount Rushmore of overall favorite hip hop artist, and then a Mount Rushmore of
Minnesota.
I was gonna say in your favorite woke artist, because I there's two different categories. But when you say the word conscious, I said woke. So yeah.
Jeez.
Where do we start?
Which one we start? So let's start with your favorite hip hop artist of all time.
Yeah, they waking up.
Yeah, they waking up.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So how many people is Mount Rushmore? That's
it's
5?
4. It's a 4.
4.
It's 4.
Oh, 4?
But we can go 5 if you need an extra.
Oh no, okay. I mean, favorite artists of all time. I kind of mentioned them. I would say probably KRS-One, Rakim, Public Enemy as a group, and Mos Def.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And if I could say 5, I would say probably Lauren.
Okay.
Even though there's not as much music, she just did so much in those 2-3 albums.
The songs are powerful by themselves.
From
it really is.
For sure.
Miseducation.
And then I guess we can go the Minnesota route then.
Minnesota artists. Mount Rushmore.
Man, I would just have to start saying a bunch of names, but there are people that never got a chance to really get on records and things like that. 2 of the ones that everybody knows are the great. There was a brother by the name of Seth that everybody agrees is the best. Okay. And there's a brother by the name of Omar who had to go away.
Okay.
And I think everybody would know that like those are probably the 2 best, right, Glow?
I'll definitely say Seth for sure.
I know Seth. I know. Yeah. No. Glow was dear friends with Seth.
Omar freestyle is
Yeah.
off the chain. He never really made much music.
Hey man,
Right.
get over here on the mic, bro.
yeah.
Jesus, he do this all the
We
time.
got-
I know, but I'm not gonna not let you not. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Me and Glow have been to each other's house.
Jesus.
Me and Glow have been around each other's children. Me and Glow tried to sell long distance
DJ
long distance phone plans
Together, man. Yeah, we go way back, bro.
Yeah,
and
it's so
good to see you.
We've been to funerals together for our friends. I mean,
sure.
We're in St. Paul. I gotta say, the late great Idea is another one of those people. One of the greatest freestylers of all time, musicians of all time. So we have to start with the people that just can't, like, their names need to be said, and there's more than that.
Well, yeah, there's a ton. I always said that if I took 10 of our best and went anywhere, I'd feel confident that we would hold our own, anywhere. You know?
I mean, Muja alone can do anything that needs to be done.
Yeah, shout out to Muja.
Yeah, for sure.
Muja can do anything that needs to be. I Self Divine. I've seen I Self Divine in on stages with whoever in that lane, Public Enemy, Wu-Tang, whoever. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's a very rich. There's a lot of like really dope music here, and I know if we're talking about Minnesota, like obviously, a lot of people would talk about even before that, like Jam and Lewis and Prince and Morris Day. Stokely Williams is one of the greatest living like musicians. And the fact that like when we like to talk, Minnesota likes to talk about how much we support our artists. The fact that that man has to do anything ever again, and especially like has to try. It's, you know, Stokely can go to a black city, and he can't walk down the street. And in Minnesota, it's difficult to book mint condition at
any situation for mint condition here.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking about this with Ant one time, and I was like, "Man, why does mint condition get hated on so much?" And Ant said, "Too black, too strong."
He went to Public Enemy route.
Right.
That's hilarious. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But any last things, thoughts?
Yeah, I got a couple more. What would you give advice-wise to up-and-coming artists, especially Minnesota artists, coming out of, you know, the situation that you had? What kind of inspiration and words of inspiration would you give them?
Don't stop. That's it. That's it. Everything else you gotta figure out yourself. Don't stop.
Okay.
If you stop, you stop.
Okay.
If you don't stop, you don't stop. That's all it is. And you figure it out. Yeah, and you don't stop. Like, no, you have to just keep going. Just keep going and be very dedicated when you're alone. The people that put in the work when it's not fun and when it's not sexy, the people who are like, okay, it's fun when I'm standing on stage and I spit a verse and people go, it's not as fun to figure out how do I construct these into songs? How do I construct these into albums? How do I figure out a way to say things that should be secrets in public? What are the things that are going on inside me that's not popular, and how can I share that with people in a way that they might like? You know what I mean? And because those are the things that take somebody from being able to rap well in a room. Like, you know, we started out, we used to, you know, Red Sea and Riverview Supper Club and North Commons, and I was a Minneapolis guy. You know what I mean? So Sabathani, and like those were the places that I and you know, and Biscuits and Blues, and what was Bon Appetit, and like all those kind of places. Like, you could go in there and there'd be a bunch of hip hop people in there. You spit a verse, and so like when the Abstract Plaque played, it was like nobody else should do anything. You know what I mean? I was one of the people that, like, if I had a verse, it would go good. We had a battle one time, and it was like things like that. But like the reason why I was so attracted to Rhymesters is because they are organized. They're looking at this. They're not looking at how to spit the verse in the room with other rappers. They're thinking about, how do I write a song in the way that Prince or Bob Dylan would write a song that's going to speak to somebody that's not in the room, and that's going to, like, how do we, like, they weren't trying to compete with other rappers in that sense. And a lot of them are great rappers, but like they were like thinking about a different thing. And then there's something else that, like, you know, so I was with Kweli one time, with Tyler Kweli. I was like, man, my music feels like I'm stuck in a certain place. And he said that by watching Common, he saw Common wanted to be a movie star. Common wanted to be known in the masses. Common's a backpack rapper like the rest of us. He said, I saw Common very early start saying, I need to make the music that can play in the place I want to go. So he's like, Common was like, I need to make, you know, so when he got The Light, that song, there is a light that shines, he's like, I need this because this can play outside of the OK Player world that I'm in. Like, this can play on TV and in a movie, and like, he's like, this is how I can still be myself and whatever. So it's like finding those people that are thinking about how to authentically, like, go to the next level and putting in that level of work, because there's no immediate gratification in that, and it might not work. You know what I mean? You can really try it, and you can make the art that should be there, and but it just doesn't get there. Like, it's just, there's so many factors at play. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, the people that stop or slow down, then you have stopped and slowed down, and you're in control of that. No one's in control of that but us.
Yeah.
If you keep going, then you kept going, and no one's in control of that but us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I see people that, like, I mean, you know, when I do talk to, like, Kweli and those guys, or Yasin or somebody, they're like, man, I love that you just keep on going. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, yeah, I don't have a job. To me, that feels like a very big deal. And to them, they're like, man, that's just so sweet and cute. You keep going. You know what I mean? But they're bendito. Like, that's awesome, man. Yeah, go ahead, little guy.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
But then Jay-Z is looking at them like, oh man, still grinding it out, huh? Okay. You know what I mean? And then somebody else is like, you know, RDM is DJing. It's like RDM is in a place sharing hip hop with people and is still affecting the community. Glow runs a radio station. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's always, we control if we stop or we don't.
I love that. I love that. All right, y'all. But look.
And that's all we control. That's the only thing we control.
I agree.
So the only advice is like, what part do we control? Just don't stop.
Don't stop.
And if you stop, then you the one stopped it.
Exactly.
Man, beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
Yes, I loved it. All
man,
right.
I appreciate you, man. Like, for real.
If we could talk all day, we would.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the station. Shout out to the great Georgia Ford and like just, I mean, these things are really very, very powerful. Like, we all love Camo J. You can't have just one of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're made better by there being other stations. You know what I mean? And there's more voices, there's more people, there's more, you know what I mean? Like, man, this show is dope. Like, I started following you up like because you played my joint a couple, but that's when I found out like, oh, I knew this station was a thing because BK1, my former DJ, started KSRM.
Yeah.
I always want to say KRS1. KRSM. Yeah. He started that station, and then you know what I mean. But man, these stations, this is the essence of what hip hop is.
Yeah.
It's like Bambaataa, like plugging into holding a thing. Like, okay, we can't be in the club, but we can plug in outside. My wife is from the Bronx. Like, you can plug in outside, bring your speakers from home, and play music, and you do your own thing.
I love it.
Yeah, I chose to come here. Like, I'm in town for a few days. This is the one that I
appreciate you. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Look, we finna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Brother Ali one more time. Make sure y'all go to the Taste of Minnesota this Saturday for the 4th. It's free.
Food's not free.
Food ain't that. It's on the expensive
I think the bus
side,
is free.
The buses are free.
That's a big deal.
That's super dope. So make sure y'all show up and y'all get to see some Minnesota homegrown artists doing their thing on a big stage, man.
Yeah, make sure y'all do it responsibly, man, because we don't want anybody getting hurt. We just want a fellowship and
just have a good old time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy the holiday weekend.
That's right. We off tomorrow.
Yeah.
We won't be here. So we'll see y'all on Monday.
Pretty much.
We out of here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We love y'all. This is The Wake Up on Power 104.7. And until next time.
No, you don't have to stumble and fall.
104.7 WEQY St. Paul, the best of hip hop and R&B.